few years back, I went to school, and then I remember I was petrified. The way of life here was totally different from the village life. The very first day at my school, I remember I was literally shaking with no English, no nothing, but the teachers were superb. They were so good. It was a remedial class where we learned English. And you had such a one-to-one base with the teachers. That was brilliant. And then as I grew up, and then a couple of years back, I've decided to practice Islam. Now that was such a big step for me, because when I working in the office environment, and then thought, how am I going to start wearing the scarf and go to office? You know, what would my friends think? What would my colleagues think? It was such a big step, but one day I decided this is it. If I want to, today, now or never. So I had my scarf on, went to work, and just walking. I remember just walking to work. Down the corridor, I was just petrified. I'm thinking, what would people say? What would people say? Shall I take it off? Shall I? I thought, no, I'm going to leave it. So when I went, and my friends, a couple of my friends told me, what's gone over you? I said, no, actually, I should have had this done 20 years ago, but it's never late, late than never. So then I've decided that now I'm going to go to each of the offices that I work with my colleagues and tell them this is the new me. And then that was it.
My mum and dad are Baha'is all their life, and their families are Baha'is as well, so I was brought up in a Baha'i family. But my mum and dad lived in Iran until, well, once they were married, and then about a year and a half after, they had a year-and-a-half-year-old who's my sister, and another wee baby that's my brother. And at the time there was like persecutions going on in Iran, and like all the Baha'is were getting persecuted because the Muslim government didn't recognise the Baha'i faith as a religion, and they didn't want Baha'is being there. So my mum and dad decided to escape from Iran, and they took motorbikes, and with a 7-month-old and a year-and-a-half-year-old, they went on 2 motorbikes to Pakistan. And it was in the middle of the day, because in Iran at the middle of the day people are sleeping, so they had to escape without nobody knowing. So it was just an all of a sudden thing. They couldn't tell anyone that they were going, so they couldn't say goodbye to anyone, and they had to leave all their belongings except for a couple of things for the children. And they so it took them a couple of days to get across to Pakistan on motorbikes. And then when they got to Pakistan, they stayed there for a while till they could get a visa to come to Britain. And then they drove from Pakistan to Britain. And now they've been living here for almost 27 years. And yeah, so they did all that so that they could still believe in their faith. So it meant quite a lot to them.
That is an amazing story.
Oh my god.
Well,
Wow.
I need to get up at 7:30, and then I need to go and brush my teeth, and then I need to get up my brother to go and brush his teeth, and then I go and eat, and then I go and get changed and do my hair, and then I watch TV and then wait for my friends to call me.
I go to school, right? And I meet one of my friends at the front, and then we catch up on the daily gossip, and then we walk around to the back, and then we just have an argument with someone for no reason, and then we'll go into tutor, and then we'll all be waiting in tutor, and all you hear is Carmel's feet walking past, and then the whole class will be like, that's Carmel! And then the bell would ring, and then we'd have first block, which is usually everyone sleeps in it, no one's awake in it. And then we have second block, which is like okay, and then we have break, which is the best, because we all go out to the back and we start being weird. And then the bell rings and we have to go back in again. And then